Hello, Reject Nation. It's Greg Alba here. This is Taylor Robinson from the channel Finally Taylor, where you can catch a lot of awesome reactions on there. I subscribe to her channel. She has yet to subscribe to The Real Rejects.
Gotta work a little harder. I don't know what to tell you.
I respect that.
Okay.
We're gonna check out a video from one of my favorite YouTube channels, WhatCulture. 8 legendary duos who hated each other's guts. I have a feeling Mulder and Scully are gonna be on here.
Probably,
because
yeah.
I saw the thumbnail.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. I like your insight.
Ryan Gosling and Rachel McAdams for when they worked on The Notebook.
Yes.
But they did
But
date
then
afterwards.
they eventually, yep.
But they're known to hate each other. Patrick Swayze and the chick from Dancing, Dirty
yes,
Dancing. Yeah.
yes.
Let's just find it.
Okay.
Hello there, I'm Adam from WhatCulture.com.
And I'm Jules from WhatCulture.com.
Yeah, you are, buddy, and we're here today to talk about legendary duos.
Now, the thing about legendary duos, be it in sort of entertainment, music, or whatever, you'd think that they're best buds, wouldn't you? I mean,
Well, you
they're all
would.
on stage all the time.
I mean, how could anybody who produces such fire content and brings such joy to the world be anything other than best pals, right?
Although saying that, no matter where you work, there are some people who really do annoy you and frustrate you, and you want to see walk off a short pier and fall into a bucket of lava.
Yeah, no matter how good things look on screen, sometimes away from the cameras, things aren't quite what they seem, are they?
No, not at all. These are 8 duos who hated each other.
Number 8, Dean Martin and
What? Did they really?
Oh my gosh.
glaring comparison to myself and Jules in Dean Martin and Jerry Lewis. 2 absolute stars in their own right, with Martin, like me, being impossibly cool, and Lewis, like Jules, just doing a bit of physical comedy here and there. Not a lot of people remember that they actually spent a full decade as a comedy duo in the 50s. While this show was a great platform to it did sort of waste the singing talents and obvious handsomeness of Martin, who slowly began to take a back seat to their act and was even left out of magazine covers. I feel you, bro. Naturally, this put a strain on their work, as Lewis interpreted Martin's dissatisfaction as a lack of effort, and unable to break this cycle, it all ended in an acrimonious split, with Dean turning to his former friend and telling him, "You're nothing to me but a f***ing dollar sign."
Number 7,
Ouch.
Mick Jagger and Keith Richards.
What?
Much like there are allegedly other presenters at What Culture beyond simply me and Cleary, there is more to the Rolling Stones than just Jagger and Richards, but nobody else cares about them. The two are responsible for 99% of the creative genius behind the group, and over the years have become like brothers to each other, albeit brothers who have had a tendency to beat each other physically, mentally, and emotionally, which actually is pretty much like regular brothers. The reason for their numerous fallouts are many and varied. Girls, drugs, recording pressures, drugs, girls, drugs, and attempts at going solo.
me and John right there.
Drugs, making fun of my hat. So I'm just projecting there. But the most impressive thing isn't the number of falling outs Jagger and Richards have endured, it's the number of times that they've been able to put their visible hatred aside for the sake of the band. Isn't that nice?
Number 6, Meg and Jack White.
Whoa.
This is a funny one. I definitely remember hearing in school that the White according to Nick Fowler in Year 9, they were both the same person, and it was all camera trickery. Regardless of the murky setup, though, the end of the band in 2011 was allegedly a result of the fact that, like most married couples, they simply couldn't talk to each other anymore. Meg being, in Jack's words, antisocial and leaving him feeling isolated and alone on the road.
That's sad.
I mean, fair enough, mate. She only suffered with crippling anxiety for most of her adult life, but yeah, no, really unfair that you have to talk to Radio 1 on your own sometimes. Such was the perceived difficultness of Meg's personality that it eventually led to the breakup of the band during the recording of their 7th album, with Jack going on to reveal just how much he'd grown to hate working with her by the end. Not like me and Buddy Boy, though. Every day's a delight.
Albert and Costello.
No!
Albert and Costello. One the cocksure straight man, the other the dim-witted fool.
No.
Hey. Two men who were famed as much for their friendship as they were for their work. That was until their early success began to fade, and all of a sudden some pretty serious rifts began to appear between the duo, both professionally and personally. Costello believing that Abbott was little more than a drunk, and conversely, Abbott referring to Costello almost exclusively as the bastard. Remind you of anyone? A series of individual tragedies didn't help matters for them. And soon they stopped speaking at all, which would have been fine were they not both tied to each other in long-term performance contracts, which they were forced to begrudgingly honour for years after until it all broke down. Awkward.
Number 4, Simon and Garfunkel.
No,
He wasn't
what?
really off Garfunkel in a relationship, not even Jules, who obviously is, but would you believe that the biggest rift to develop between one of the biggest duos in music history stemmed from jealousy felt by Paul Simon? Yep, after Simon's role in Catch-22 was cut, he had to spend months sitting back at the studio waiting for Garfunkel to return so they could finish Bridge Over Troubled Water. The delay on the album infuriated him and completely reversed the notion up until that point that it was art who was being overshadowed. This tension and complete lack of balance, which was now free-flowing from both sides, was even obvious to George Harrison, who told Art, "My Paul is to me what your Paul is to you," which loosely translates as "you suck, mate," which must have stung. 45 years later, they still don't speak.
Number 3, Mulder and Scully. Although
There it
the
is.
X-Files was ostensibly about the supernatural, the real heart of the show was the relationship between Special Agents Fox Mulder and Dana Scully. They were the show's natural heart and shared virtually every scene together, which made Duchovny's revelation that they couldn't stand the sight of each other all the more surprising. Gillian Anderson corroborates this story, admitting that there were long periods of time during the show's run where the two didn't talk at all and that they could both be pains in the arse. She also recalls that she felt ostracised for getting pregnant during the second season of the show, a sizable pay disparity between the two actors, and being forced to walk behind Duchovny in scenes because he was the man. To be fair though, I actually really understand that last one, as I'm forced to stand behind
Number 2, C3PO and R2D2.
What?
Oh no, really? Is anything from my childhood sacred? Ugh. So, yeah, it turns out that despite them being the definitive poster boys for robot best friends, Anthony Daniels and Kenny Baker absolutely hate each other. Baker, who played R2, has reportedly called his taller sidekick the rudest man I've ever met, saying
Really?
Wow.
he refers to the 3'8" actor as Little Man because it knows it gets under his skin. Daniels, in turn, has accused Baker of being uninvolved in a good chunk of the actual filming, saying he is rarely on set and his name appears on the credits as more of a good luck charm or a courtesy, a bit like when we let Jules on the wrestling channel. This passive-aggressive droid feud dates back to an incident the two had on set many moons ago when Baker claims he went up to say hello to his co-star, only to be shot down by Daniels, who turned his back on him and said, "Can't you see I'm having a conversation?" The two quite happily talk about their dislike for one another in interviews, and I just hate everything.
And number 1, Liam and Noel Gallagher. You're unlikely to find another pair of brothers in the music industry or anywhere else who loathe each other as much as the Gallaghers, and after years of being convinced that their constant mudslinging was just there to build interest in the reunion tour, it's now widely accepted that they simply cannot stand each other. Their sibling turmoil is widely documented by this point, with tensions between the two hot-tempered brothers rising with each ensuing album, both as part of Oasis and more recently their solo projects. The feud came to a head after the recent terror attacks in Manchester, with Noel's inability to return to the country for a benefit concert, leading Liam to tell him to get on a fucking plane and play your tunes for the kids, you sad. Oh God. Poor mother.
So that was our list.
Wow.
By leaving a comment below.
This is a heartbreaking list.
I know.
Then head back
This
to
is
WhatCulture.com
heartbreaking.
for more news and articles like this with best friends every goddamn day.
Until next time, I've been out from WhatCulture.com.
I've been Jules.
and we'll see you soon.
Bye-bye.
Yep. Yep. I'll let you turn everything off since you think you're so fucking tall.
Is that cool to me, or is that just 1,000 bees that have just come into my brain?
You know what I really liked about this list video is how they integrated like this like micro sketch throughout it of them really not getting along, like setting up that ending punchline this whole time. Some of that's pretty heartbreaking. I feel like John and I are like this.
I mean, I can tell.
I mean, there's always tension between John and I. It's very sexual.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Mm.
I really like him.
Wow. I'll keep your secret.
Yeah, but he's always bringing girls back to the apartment.
Oh, that's awkward.
Like a lot of girls.
Like a lot of girls.
And then I get filled with jealousy.
Mm.
Get me erect, John. A lot of these shocked me. Dean Martin and Jerry Lewis.
I know.
The ones with the bands, I could actually see it easier for them to set aside their differences in terms of like, okay, I get why they haven't created anything new for a long time, but they just do performances.
Right.
That seems plausible to me for them to do that. But when you have like a TV show together, we've created a legendary duo out of it, from constantly creating and rehearsing together and working together and feeding off each other's energy, which I guess can be said of a band, but it's a little bit of a different format for actors. And for Jerry Lewis and Dean Cain, for Jerry Lewis and Dean Martin, that was shocking, especially because they're so funny together. And so when
Right.
people that make you laugh so much together actually hate each other, I find that a little bit more heartbreaking. It's like if I found out the cast of Friends hated each other.
That was surprising. And then it sucks because they've built so much up from that.
Yeah.
And then they're like, well, what are we going to do now? Because
Yeah.
we can't stand each other and everybody wants us to be that duo.
I wonder how true that is, that if Dean Martin actually said you're just a dollar bill
I
sign.
know,
to
that's
me.
cold if he said that. That's...
John said that to me many times.
Wow.
And I pay him, hoping it'll lead somewhere. It never does.
He doesn't seem to respect your feelings.
He doesn't,
Yeah.
but that's why I'm drawn to him.
Gotcha. You like that whole...
Yeah, my parents are very neglectful, so naturally I'm drawn to emotionally unavailable men.
That's understandable. That's understandable.
One day I'll change a man. Make him who I want him to be.
That always goes well.
Then I will save myself in the process.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
The Rolling Stones, yeah, I've heard about Mick Jagger,
Yeah.
them not getting along before, but they're so pro, though. They still perform together. They still do an excellent job whenever they're on stage.
Which is very respectable.
Yeah.
They still make it work.
When you can set aside your differences, I think like Christian Harloff and Mark Ellis do that all the time.
Oh, yeah.
That's why they're the only ones in the Schmodown in front of the camera who actually get along with each other.
Right.
But really, behind the scenes, Mark is just Christian's little bitch.
Wow.
Don't worry, they don't watch my videos.
Okay, good.
Send this specific moment just to them. I remember being in school and everyone talking about Jack and Meg White. Did you listen to the White Stripes?
Here and there, but not really.
Their one song you heard all the time? The Seven Nation Army one?
That's like the only one that I know.
That
Yeah.
one, yeah.
Mhm.
I heard like weird rumors about it. I heard they were like brother and sister first.
Ooh.
And then I heard they were married, and then it just got very confusing.
See, I remember hearing about that and being like, I don't even know who these people are. I don't know what's happening.
What's crazy though is Jack White's career is still like,
It took off. Yeah.
He's in like 4 bands and he does like
I
a whole bunch
know.
of stuff. He composes for movies.
He pops up everywhere.
He's everywhere. He collabs with everyone, and I never hear about Meg. Do you think that's a woman thing?
A woman thing?
You know, like how discriminatory the entertainment business is to women. I'm trying to make this a controversial video.
Right. Sorry,
Trying
I'm
to get
not...
this content.
Okay.
You're a woman. Speak up for women. Me too. Do it.
Yes, that is the industry being like, fuck you, you're a woman.
You
That's
heard it here
exactly
first. You
what
heard it
that
here
was.
first.
Yeah.
Screw Jack White. That's what Taylor's saying.
That's exactly
Yeah. Thanks, Taylor. That's a man pressuring a woman into saying a thing for a video right there. Abbott and Costello, I had no idea about. That breaks my heart. Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein was one of the most viewed movies I watched growing up as a kid. So to hear this piece of information actually like is really
It's just
disheartening to
hurting
me.
you right now?
Yeah, it's disheartening. But at the same time, their chemistry on camera wasn't that they got along perfectly. Their chemistry
Right.
was that they always bickered and bantered with each other.
Which I feel like can be more fun if you don't get along.
Yeah, because it's kind of an outlet in the moment in front of the
Right.
camera to just
Right.
channel. That's probably why they were so good. Yeah, because they could just channel it. Yeah,
They're like, oh, I'm acting with you right now, but not really.
yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Not like Christian and Mark. Mulder and Scully. You know, I've heard some pretty awful things about David Duchovny.
I actually have too.
I mean, I've heard he's kind of a creepy guy.
Yeah. Especially, I don't know what it is, but lately, it's been kind of coming around that these two.
Yeah, and it's kind of because isn't the X-Files coming back again?
I think,
Yeah.
That's what's like, what?
They are one of the biggest duos of all time. Those examples they were showing of like Mulder always having to walk in front of Scully, the pay differences.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's still going on with the show. I wasn't ever really a big X-Files fan to begin with. Everyone knows of Mulder and Scully. So.
Even if you've never watched The X-Files,
yeah,
it's a pretty good chance you're still going to know who that is.
that is unfair because they are equal. I wouldn't want to watch just a Mulder show, and I wouldn't want to watch just a Scully show, so they should be treated equally. It's probably why they never got together in the multiple movies and
Yeah.
multiple seasons they've done.
Probably.
The whole like, will they, won't they? No, they're not going
It's
to
not gonna
because
happen.
I don't think these two actors will ever agree to do that. Yeah.
We can't pay them enough money.
Do a kissing scene. And C3PO and R2D2.
That one.
What's the appropriate word for like a little...
Little person.
He's got a great profile, doesn't he?
He
He has a
does.
great
It's very,
profile.
very nice.
Yeah. I didn't realize there was an actor as R2D2 in all
Are
these
you
movies.
serious?
Yeah, I didn't know that.
I totally knew that, and as soon as I saw that pop up, I was like, no! My
didn't-
favorite robot duo ever!
I didn't know there was an actual, like, an actor.
Really?
I mean, that's going to lose me so much credibility with all geeks.
Love it. Love it.
I thought, like, maybe they had, like, a stunt performer in there or something, because he doesn't have lines or do anything,
No.
really.
No,
I
that's
mean,
true.
But Here's the thing about that story. When they listed both sides of the arguments that they had, I was like, well, the guy who plays C3PO sounds like a dick.
Right.
That's what I came out with hearing it.
Yeah.
I'm like, A, oh, I didn't even know there's an actor as R2D2, but B, the guy who plays C3PO sounds like he was kind of a pretty big jerk to the guy. That would be more heartbreaking to me if I knew there was an actual actor as R2D2 in there.
That's just unfortunate because I feel like for the most part, when you think Star Wars, you think that the cast is all like friends.
Yeah.
And they had like a great time on set. And then it's like, well, all right. He was going around just being a dick to everybody.
Damn.
Yeah.
Well, everyone knows that, you know, like, yeah, we all like our Lukes and Leias and Hans, but everyone shows up for C3PO.
Well, obviously.
Yeah, he's the highlight of all the movies. I wish they could do a C3PO spinoff.
Oh, yeah.
3PO, a Star Wars solo movie, or whatever they call those movies, a Star Wars story. Yeah. Him and Noel Gallagher.
That one I've known about for a long time.
Yeah.
Like that
It's a pretty big one, huh?
I feel like most people know that.
Yeah.
Because it's always been kind of a thing where you hear about it and you're like, yep, they're fighting again, so that's like, all right.
But they're brothers, so they're always going to be in each other's lives in some way, even if they don't talk to each other for like a few years.
Right.
They'll eventually just have to come back around to seeing each other again or talking with each other.
That's how that works, right? Like you just kind of have to.
Yeah,
at some point.
Absolutely.
Especially when both of them are all over the news.
My brother, he lives in the building next door. He has a channel that just surpassed us in followers. He's a total douche.
Okay.
He's such a dick.
Good.
I kind of like him.
A little bit?
A little bit.
Okay.
I mean, he helps me out with money. But that's all he's really good for, I love my brother. Anyway, thanks WhatCulture for your video, guys. This is a great video. Taylor, it's 3:30. You have to head back to Arizona.
I do.
Get on the road.
Gotta get out of here.
Guys, you can subscribe to The Real Rejects. Click that notification bell to get notified every time one of our videos is up because subscribe buttons don't work. Also, make sure to subscribe to Taylor's channel, Finely Tailored, because she is fine and has good suits.
Wow.
Snickered.
Wow. That was the greatest joke I've ever heard.
Yep.
Yep.
That's why they come here. Class A comedy.